With book 2 of Rachel Gilling's Stonewater Kingdom series coming, we're doing a full recap of book 1, The Night of the Moth, so you're completely caught up before the Knave and the Moon drops. Full spoilers from start to finish.
Our protagonist is number 6, born Sybil Delling, a name that was stripped from her when she became a diviner. She's kept it privately, never forgetting it, even as the cathedral reduced her to a number. The story opens with 6 and 5 other shrouded, nameless diviners sneaking onto the cathedral to watch King Castor's approach towards the cathedral. She immediately clashes with a soldier in the procession, sneering and dismissive, who she'll come to know as Roderick Mendacious. His last name, notably, means liar in Latin.
6 draws the short straw and performs the divination for King Castor. The abbess submerges her in ailing spring, so she essentially drowns, and wakes in a dream version of the cathedral. She reads the omens for the king, and every single one signals bad fortune. Then, just as the dream should end, she hears footsteps in the darkness. The moonlight goes out. Something followed her in the dream. And this is not a normal divination. She wakes up gasping. Later that night, she smells ailing spring water on the king, gets violently sick, and demands to know why he has it. Roderick gives no answer.
6 figures out fast that Roderick has leverage over her, so she flips it. She saw the spring water and will stay quiet, but her price is a night out at Colson Fair with all her diviners. Her leverage is basically, I know that you have this water, so take me out with my diviners on a night out of town, or I'm going to tell on you. They strike a deal, and she finds a note later that her and the diviners need to be ready by nightfall. He comes through. Something that's really important to mention here, though, is that the 23 limestone gargoyles at Aisling's Cathedral are a constant presence in 6's life, right? So we know that they're like groundskeepers, and they're always around the diviners. One stands out from the rest, and he's more emotional, funnier, and he calls everyone and everything Bartholomew, for reasons that won't become clear until later.
So, Roderick helps the diviner sneak out, hoods up, each assigned a night escort. 6's escort is Hamlin Fisher. She asks if he's married, he says no, and they walk off together. But the moment he tries to remove her shroud, she shuts it down entirely and walks away. So that moment that they were going to be intimate together completely ends right there.
Which she initiates in like a watch this to the other Mendacious.
Yeah, Mendacious was kind of poking at her, so she kind of was like, you know what, I might as well.
Yep.
She initiated it and she ended it. She's deeply guarded underneath the ego. So at a formal challenge at the fair, Benji, who is the king, challenges Roderick to his craft of war. If Roderick falls, he returns to Ailing for a full divination. If he wins, Benji runs naked. Sounds fair. Roderick concedes. Hands tied, he picks who tries to knock him down, and he chooses Diviner 1, Diviner 4, and Diviner 6. Before she changes, he quietly offers her a deal. Let him win so she doesn't have to come back. She says no and takes him down.
6 wakes the gargoyle early to perform an unofficial divination for Roderick so that the abbess doesn't find out. The gargoyle, when told 6 will eventually leave at the end of her tenure, cries. He tells her he knows only one story, the one with the tragic beginning and the death of the interminable middle. He'll tell it someday. So he just like continues over and over with the same story. When Roderick arrives for the divination, he gives his full name for the ritual and asks for hers. She remembers it but doesn't say it. Then the divination happens and the moth appears. Silence, cold, darkness. A pale moth lands on her nose, and through its wings, she sees the 5 statues come to life. The 6th figure at the cathedral entrance with arms wide and hands empty. And then the diviners, young girls whose bodies become distorted, fractured, crying out in agony. A voice says, "Swords and armor are nothing to stone." The moth has never appeared in a divination before, so something is very wrong.
Roderick is gone when she wakes, and the next morning, Diviner 4 is gone. Then 2, then 3. 6 confronts the abbess, who confirms the moth is a presage of death, then reveals that she already knew about Colson Fair and orders the cottage locked. 5 disappears. Iron bars go across the windows. Diviner 1 removes her shroud, looks in the mirror, and gasps in horror at what she sees, but won't say what it is. They fall asleep, making promises to each other. When 6 wakes, 1 is gone too. She's completely alone. Then a figure steps through the iron bars as if they're nothing. It's Roderick. He breaks in, genuinely alarmed, no idea what's been happening. She grabs one thing before they run, her hammer and chisel. As they sprint out, she finally gets a clear look at what he's been carrying, a stone coin, larger than normal, smooth on one side and rough on the other. She's seen it before, only in her dreams. It's the artful brigand's sacred stone coin, one of the 5 omen objects.
And he's there because right before the last diviner goes missing, she goes out with the gargoyle to go find Benji and be like, hello, you need to help me. These diviners are going
leaves
missing.
a message at the castle, and he comes looking
And
for
he
her
comes looking for
afterwards.
her because they're like, a diviner showed up at the castle, left us a message. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Right. They travel to the sect, the scholarly city of scribes, with Roderick, the gargoyle, Maud, and King Castor. So they basically catch up to King Castor, Benji, and Maud. They tell her, we're hunting the omen, the scribe. And she's like, blasphemy. What do you mean? Because they're gods to her. But all of a sudden, she finds herself following them on this journey. And she enters a domed room filled with thousands of books. An old man looks up. In his hand is the inkwell from Six's dreams of divination. He says, a daughter of Aisling, please come in. This is the harried scribe, one of the 5 omens, who has walked the sect for over 2 centuries. King Castor formally challenges him, declaring he's taking up the mantle and claiming the inkwell. This basically means that if you defeat the omen, the craft that they own becomes yours. It's specifically the inkwell, like the stone object. The challenge is 3 questions of knowledge for the scribe. They get it right.
Yeah. So essentially, they're like, what's her real name? And he doesn't know.
Yeah, he's like, they don't have names. But
wrong.
They do.
Yeah. So the scribe fights back. He uses ink as his weapon, burns Maud's arm, and when 6 falls and bleeds, he crawls towards her and licks blood from her. Disgusting. He can smell ailing spring water in her blood. Rory yanks him away and they kill him. 6 confronts Roderick. The coin, the inkwell, is he an omen? His answer. The coin belonged to the artful brigade, right up until 5 days ago, when they challenged his craft and killed him. He's not an omen. He's the one killing them. Everything clicks into place. Roderick and Benji have been hunting the omens one by one. Already 2 down. What's next?
6 runs. She's losing everything at once. She's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
First of all, these omens are supposed to be gods, and they 2 have already been taken down. Why is he taking up the mantle? Her entire belief system is crumbling.
Yeah.
And the harried scribe tried to eat her,
Yeah.
basically.
And the reason that she went on this journey was to look for her diviners.
Yeah.
They've all been going missing one by one. That Abbess told her that they ran away. So she's looking for them. And this just throws a wrench in everything.
She goes to 2 foundling houses with the gargoyle when they run away in the sect, asking whether any girls the abbess selects ever come back. The answer at both is no. The abbess funds these houses and handpicks the girls, always foundlings, often sick. That's not charity. That's a pipeline. Back with the group, Benji lays out the real history of Trom from his grandfather's notebook. 2 centuries ago, 5 craftsmen came to a limestone tower. A 6th figure arrived with a foundling child. The craftsmen drank from a spring and fell into a dream. The 6th figure carved them stone objects. Each carried great magic. The 6th figure, the one who built all of it, is the Moth. The abbess is the Moth, you find out. The cathedral was named after her, and she named it after herself.
Benji confirms this. They are in terrible danger. He asks 6 to join them, travel to the hamlets, wear her shroud, lend her presence as a diviner, walking beside the king. Roderick quietly tells her that whatever she decides, she'll need better clothes that fit her, like armor. During the fitting, Six starts processing out loud what the abbess did, that she was kind, that she told her she was special. Then she starved her for affection and gave her just enough to keep her compliant. Roderick doesn't soften it. Her care came with condition. Both of them were foundlings, one made into a diviner, one made into a knight, both used by powerful people.
Yeah, we see their story kind of deepen during this time. There's obviously some
There's
like
a lot of banter
feelings.
still.
There's banter, and there's also like they're interested in each other.
Yeah.
In one way or another. They travel away from this and they enter into the Fervent Peaks, right? That's the next hamlet that they enter. Benji and Maud attend the hamlet ceremony while Six and Roderick are tasked with finding the oarsman
Mm-hmm.
and starting to steal the stone object.
Yeah.
Her visions that she used to dream about help her be able to see the landscape that these omens are at. They use the spring water that Benji steals to lure these out.
Mm-hmm.
The ardent oarsman is unlike anything they've seen. Gray skin, eyes entirely of limestone, fanged teeth.
Your favorite.
The creepiest one, in my opinion. The further the omens are from human, we find out the longer they've been drinking the water. He looks at Six and tells her she's not like the diviners sent before her. So right away, she's already like, wait, so you've seen my diviners,
Mm-hmm.
right? He vanishes with Six by the throat, demands to know where the coin came from. Roderick tells him he killed the Artful Brigand. Six drives her chisel into the oarsman's leg. He wipes his own blood and brings it to his mouth. The omens drink the diviner's blood for the spring water inside it. So he's basically telling her, your diviners are dead.
Yeah.
They are given to us by the abbess
Mm-hmm.
to keep us alive. Roderick formally challenges him to a match on water. Win this and the oar is theirs. The oarsman agrees, but the fight won't be Roderick. It has to be Six. The night before, Maud warns them he's the most dangerous omen they've faced. Roderick takes Six to the hot springs in the mountains to just kind of de-stress, and they have been training her for the last few days to hopefully take on it. Yeah. She makes him promise if the fight goes badly that he will find a home for the gargoyle and keep looking for the missing diviners.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she kind of knows, at this point.
The morning of the fight, Six's armor still hasn't arrived, even though she was already fitted for it. So Maud gives her own. There's just one problem. Six can't swim. And the battle takes place on a plateau
that she can fall off into the water.
Yeah. So Roderick promises that if she falls in, he's coming after her. The oarsman shuts it down immediately. Any intervention and the challenge is lost. Her life is forfeit. She goes in completely alone.
It's also super important to mention that Rory wanted her to take the coin.
But Benji said no.
In
case she lost one of the omen tokens.
Yes.
During the fight, the oarsman bites her, says he can practically taste the spring on her. She swallowed so much more than the others. She demands to know what others, and he tells her every 10 years they come, naked and still. The abbess sends them. He drinks their blood. Every generation of diviners was sent to the omens as blood offerings. That is what the cathedral is for. That is what Six is for. She defeats and kills the ardent oarsman. He delivers his final answer before he dies. The most recent diviner came barely a week ago. He drank her. All the diviners are dead. He slams his oar into the platform, and Six falls into the water.
Six is pulled out of the water, barely breathing. She comes to remembering everything. The oarsman, that her diviners are dead. Wandering around later, she finds a room containing all the omen stone objects that they've recovered and Benji's original, like his grandfather's journal.
Mm-hmm.
There's a passage inside where he traveled all of Trom and never once met a former diviner after her service had ended. No records of them anywhere. He wondered what they were hiding beneath their shrouds. Benji had lied. He told Six that there was nothing in the journal about the diviners.
Mm-hmm.
But his grandfather had been actively searching for them and found nothing.
Yeah. So she confronts Benji. He admits he didn't tell her because she wouldn't have come. She limps into the dark woods alone, and that's where she finds Rory. She tells him everything. The oarsman bit her because he'd put his teeth in diviners before, that they're all dead. She says that when she divined for Roderick and the gargoyle drowned her, she didn't dream of 5 omens. She dreamed of the 6th, the Moth. The diviners vanished after. Maybe she'd known the whole time something horrible had happened. Roderick tells her she can still do something. Destroy the omens. Destroy Ailing. She says it hurts more than drowning. Then she bites her thumb until it bleeds and holds her hand to him. He brings her thumb to his lips and asks the ritual question. What name with blood would you give me? And she says her name out loud for the first time. Sybil Delling. And they walk back together.
After this whole ideal, right? Like, she's depressed.
Yeah.
And she's in, like, she won't move from her bed.
Mhm.
After a few days, she gets up with one goal. She wants to annihilate the abyss using her hammer and chisel.
Mhm.
The gargoyle, who has been watching everything and who is the most emotionally honest character in the book, finally snaps and tells Roderick to just say that he's in love with her and this back and forth, right? And Roderick's eyes go wide. The gargoyle. Then you're in love with him, right? Like, he goes back and forth. Like, one of you tell each other that they're in love with each other.
The denial confuses him.
During this time, Sybil is basically like, I'm not a diviner. Like, I don't know where I land on this. She won't take the gossamer off yet.
Mhm.
But she's like, what am I? Basically, they give her the option to be knighted. They enter into the chiming woods where they do the ritual,
Mhm.
but they're smoking idleweed, so now they're all like out of it.
Yeah.
The chime cracks, like the faithful forester's chime cracks minds open, and combined with the herb, the effect is overwhelming. In the haze, Hamlin tries to kiss Six. Roderick has him by the face. The gargoyle and Six have a striking exchange. They both see the same vision, and all the trees basically erupt.
Yeah, they're sprites.
Yeah, they're sprites. And the goal is they need to get the chime out, but the entire woods are just trying to kill them and eat them. They're trying to eat them.
Yeah.
The woods are eating them. They do get out, though. And even though Maud gets very hurt, she survives in the aftermath of this.
Yeah. After Maud comes to and heals a little bit, the group pushes to have Six formally knighted, which Benji hesitates. She's more useful to him as a diviner. So Roderick calls him out. Benji's real frustrations finally surface. He feels like he's never respected, always treated as a fool or a prop, and you could tell that it's building into something. He agrees to the knighting, and during the ceremony, Benji uses Six's real name, Sybil Delling. But when he asks her to swear as both knight and diviner, she pauses. What does divine mean when nothing is divine? Roderick tells her she doesn't need the title if it no longer fits, and then Benji snaps. To swear to him is to swear to divination. Roderick says that they show loyalty, not mindlessness. Six says, I've sworn to Ailing, to omens, and to friends now gone. I think I would like to stop promising myself away. Benji welcomes her begrudgingly to his knighthood anyway, and that night she ends up at Roderick's store. He helps her take her armor off. She's never worn it before. They spend the night together, and in the morning she finds a mirror, removes the shroud for the first time in 10 years, and sees that her eyes are no longer human. Pallid white, completely without iris or pupil, like an omen's. The spring water has been changing her.
Yeah. They slept together, by the way.
Yeah.
In case that wasn't totally clear.
Yeah.
Because they spent the night, but it's like...
Same. Yeah.
He does come in to her being like, what is happening, right? But she doesn't share that she's seen behind her eyes. And then they just kind of move on.
Yeah.
They head to the cliffs of Belladine. And this is the 5th and final hamlet. The cliffs of Belladine, home to the Heartstone Weaver and her loomstone. The landscape is gentle, beautiful, full of flowers. The hamlet takes on its own woman's personality, just like the others did. Benji is now meeting privately with a separate group of knights, right? So they get into like this inn kind of thing. And
he's having a little meeting
with Hamlin, Dedrick, and Tori without Roderick or Maud. So she walks into this little meeting and he's like, oh, stay. We're like strategizing.
Yeah.
And then she's like, without Roderick?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, well, like he was busy.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm actually kind of busy now, but you should wait for his like opinion on things.
Mm-hmm.
Benji immediately goes like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she leaves to meet up with Roderick. They have moments together. And he's basically says to her, like, when this is over, the world is yours. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, you don't have to stick to the knighthood. And she was like, but what about you? And he was like, I'll go wherever you go. So basically, Roderick is ready to leave Benji.
Yeah. Essentially, he's willing to take his next steps with Sybil.
Exactly.
So they try to lure the Heartstone Weaver out and are pretty unsuccessful.
Yeah.
But they find a hidden cave beneath the cliffs. And by they, I mean the gargoyle. Inside, there's tapestries of worms, cocoons, and, lo and behold, moths. There's 3 paths. They split up. 6 follows a moth deeper in and finds an opening. Little white cocoons on the wall, a stone slab, and a naked woman lying still with a shroud over her eyes. 6 whispers, 1. It's Diviner 1. Dead, laid out in a cave. A craggy voice comes out. Not all of them have gone. The figure who appears looks like one of Aisling's gargoyles. Entirely of limestone, wings, hooves, and stone eyes, the Heartstone Weaver has fully transformed. This is what centuries of drinking spring water does, she explains. Every 10 years, the diviners come to her. She doesn't touch them. She lays them in the caves where the sea air has its way with them. It's the best burial that she can offer them. She didn't consume the diviners, she buried them. She's the only omen who did. And that's why she looks the way that she does.
Totally transformed into a gargoyle due to the fact that
Lack
she
of
is
spring
not
water.
drinking the blood or killing the diviners herself.
Mm-hmm.
The Weaver gives 6 2 things. First, the Loomstone's power. If the finger is in the hole facing outward, you can transport. Facing inward, you travel not in body but in mind, like a tapestry of memory.
Mm-hmm.
It gave the Weaver back who she was before she became an omen. So basically, she was the Weaver. She walked into the omen hood, whatever, and all of a sudden, she realized that her stone object is able to show her what happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And she became depressed. Like her entire family, like her wife, all these things. It's been years.
When she went to go look for everything she loved, they were all dead.
They were all dead. It gave the Weaver back who she was. Second, the Heartstone Weaver. The Weaver knew the Abbess before she became the Abbess, right?
She knew her back when she was
a craftsman, basically. And the Weaver would make robes for her foundlings. She became worried when she was making the 6th robe that she asked for and didn't want to be the omen anymore. She told the Abbess she didn't have it in her to live forever, and the Abbess called her disloyal, took the robe and left. The spring water stopped coming. After 9 years of starvation, the limestone began to spread from the Weaver's eye outward, and the Abbess sent coins from the cathedral as a reminder of her holiness. And she threw them in the caves.
Yeah. So 6 asks her again for the Loomstone, and the Weaver says she'll give it to her, but first she must do what she came to do. Give her the end. She wants to die. So 6 kills her. With her last breaths, the Weaver reveals the Loomstone rests where it was made, upon the Tor. Returned to Ailing when the Weaver's body twisted beyond recognition and she became one of the gargoyles. 6 asks, are the gargoyle sprites? And the Weaver, dying, says, no. Not the ones upon the Tor. They hardly speak. But not the first one. He was the most peculiar boy, she said. The gargoyle's voice comes from somewhere in the cave. He's screaming, Bartholomew, Bartholomew. The Weaver recognizes his voice. And she says, the foundling upon the Tor, the first diviner, little Bartholomew. The gargoyle is the foundling child, the original, the first child to drink from the spring. the first diviner. He's been calling everyone Bartholomew for centuries because it's the only name he has left. It's his own.
So basically, we get the entire background of the gargoyle, right? So he comes in as the first foundling, and he basically crafts the story with the abbess.
Yeah.
Which
And
she uses against him, honestly, because she's like, I knew you could never really believe in this because you crafted it with me and you were
he
too questioning.
describes the story as it's being told to him.
Yeah.
And he mentions that he knew the abbess before she was the abbess.
Yep.
He knew her when she was Aileen. Her name is Aileen. So Aileen Cathedral is the abbess's. It's hers.
And she's the sixth omen.
The moth.
The moth with her chisel
Mm-hmm.
is her thing, which she gives to her favorite diviners, who
Yeah.
she's going to make gargoyles. Anyways, we get background that together the abbess and the Bartholomew the gargoyle created the five craftsmen, not by finding gods, but by manufacturing them. The craftsmen had killed each other fighting over leadership. She brought them back from the dead using the spring water, wiped their memories, and convinced them that they were divine. Together, she and Bartholomew carved the stone objects, and every divination was manufactured by her.
Mm-hmm.
She makes every vision
She
happen.
made the religion. She made everything.
Eventually, Bartholomew refused to keep dreaming, and he was continuing to challenge her. So she locked him up in the cottage without the aisling water, and he turned into a gargoyle.
Mm-hmm. And he said that's what she does with her favorites, the ones that she gives the hammer and chisel. She turns them into gargoyles when they're done.
And when he became a gargoyle, she was pleased with him again.
Mm-hmm.
He was useful once more. She gave him her own words to live by. Swords and armor are nothing to stone. And she turns him into a weapon, like a groundskeeper, honestly, like a keeper of the cathedral.
So after this, the five of them return to Aileen, Benji, Maud, Roderick, the gargoyle, and Six. The iron gates explode open with stone objects. Six tears off the abbess's shroud, and the moment she appears, we see that she has no hair, skin pale as a limestone, still the face of a woman, beautiful, fearsome, and entirely inhumane. The abbess slips the loomstone on, grabs Six's wrist, and they both vanish into the spring. While the others fight the gargoyles outside, the abbess tells Six everything. She has no memory before the cathedral, no memory of being pulled from the gutter, too sick for the foundling houses, no memory of gargoyles carrying her in. Six doesn't remember any of this. No memory of dying. No diviner should dream forever. They spoil with time, says the abbess. Their loyalties fractured. When Six left for Colson Fair, the abbess realized it was time to replace her. And then the most chilling part. She kissed their brows, held them closely, and then broke their necks, one by one. Then she sent their bodies out to the hamlets so that the omens could have their fill.
Basically, the abbess is a monster. And they fight each other. Bartholomew steps forward, wings spread, and tears the abbess apart. Six ends it. She slams her fist into the abbess's jaw, holds the abbess over the spring water by the throat, the same spring water that she drowned over and over again. The final omen is dead.
Yeah. So they bring down the cathedral, Roderick with his coin, Six with her hammer and chisel, which is hilarious. Breaking down a whole castle with a hammer and chisel.
For real.
Maud with her axe, the gargoyle with his stone claws, and Benji throwing stones, ripping pieces from the floor. They destroy it. The boy who has waited his whole life for this moment, and then it's over, and they're in the courtyard as knights are beginning to arrive. And that's when Benji swings. His sword lodges into Roderick's side through the chainmail. He grabs the coin, shoves Roderick down, and then strikes the gargoyle, shattering his left wing. Fissures spreading through his arm and into his chest. Both of them fall. And then Benji turns to Six and proposes.
You're going to marry me now.
He wants her to come to Castle Lurik. And he wants her to be his queen. She punches him in the face.
Love it. Mm-hmm. He explains it, right? Now he basically has all the stone objects. He's turned on his found family, which is Maud. Maud is like, what are you doing? And Benji tells her, this is the plan. I need to become my own king.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Rory are in my way. All the wealth the Abbas ever controlled gets redistributed to his nobles, Hamlin, Dedrick, Tory, whose family are the most influential in the hamlets that they reside in. He's been building this loyalty the entire book, hamlet by hamlet, quietly. He needs 6 because no one knows how the diviner's dreams actually work, and to the public, she's still magic. She's still divine. If she sits beside him, he's going to have more more sway in the whole hamlets, right? He used every relationship in this group as a tool. Roderick's loyalty to 6 became evidence as disloyalty to himself. Maud's devotion was used past the point where she should have questioned anything for him. But he's basically like, I'm done with you guys. He turns to 6 and says if she doesn't come with him, he'll let the knighthood punish Roderick and the gargoyle and Maud for desecrating the cathedral. So basically, like, they tore it down.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys need to take them in.
Mm-hmm.
6 tells them all to go to take care of each other. The gargoyle doesn't want to leave, but there's fissures. Like, his left, like, his wing is gone. They go. Benji basically turns to her and be like, this is a good thing. Like, just have faith. And the King of Trom is basically like, you're now my queen. And Rory is hurt. The gargoyle is hurt. And Maud is just
dragging them away. Yeah.
As the book ends.
I do want to mention one thing. The abbess mentions when she's having her face off with Sybil that she was stillborn in the spring herself 100 years before Bartholomew, and that she's never tasted food, never known humanity, only sweet rot and water. She says that as an infant, her flesh fell away, and what was left was only stone, and she spent centuries performing a humanity that she never. And now the cathedral's destroyed, and we're left with the rubble of the ending of this book.
Yep. So this is the full recap.
Yeah, from start to finish, as detailed as we can make it.
Yeah.
That's what happens in this book.
You should be more than ready to
dive into the Knave and the Moon.
Knave and the Moon coming out September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have, I mean, if you've come through this whole thing, you don't really care about the short
at this
version.
Point, you know everything detailed, but we have a theories episode. We do have a shorter version.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. And that way you don't have to reread the whole book because we just gave it to you. Thank you for watching.
See you next time. Bye.